we stream all of these live to YouTube. Okay. Purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If there were anyone here from the public, they'd have an opportunity to speak after the applicant had presented its case. I'll give the zoning plans examiner, Wes Menzel, an opportunity to provide any testimony. In the event any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to rebut that testimony, and then the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. So, Ms. Williams, I just want to hear from you some background about this, why you think it's important, and why you think it's appropriate for me to grant this relief. I'll then go to Wes, and I'll allow Wes to add any testimony in addition to a staff report, and then you can respond to that and make any closing arguments. I may have some questions along the way, and that's it. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony. That's generally evidence you want to introduce that consists of statements made by someone who's not present at this hearing. In the event of any technical difficulties with Zoom, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those on the fly, but to the extent there's some defect that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with this hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay, last thing I need to do is to swear in all of our witnesses. So I believe that both of you will be testifying here today, so you need to be sworn in before you do that. So if you could make sure that you're off mute, I need everyone to raise their right hand and to answer out loud. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, Ms. Williams, are you ready to tell me some more about this application?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been a childcare provider as a type B since 2007. And I'm actually looking to grow and be a type A. So that would qualify me to hire someone and bring more work into this community. Also allow access to childcare for those that are in walking distance of my home. I have been able to work with the schools that are close by to give access to those children that are in need of daycare, not just for the ones that are after school, but also their siblings as well while they're in school and parents are working. So I'm looking to actually grow in this area of childcare because I've been type B for so long. I'm looking forward to moving forward as a type A and then hopefully someday as a center.
Fantastic. Okay. Can you tell me some more about the orientation of the property and the surrounding neighborhood?
Okay, so I live on a corner lot, and I know there's an apartment building next to me, but I had already put up fencing around my property. I believe I sent that in as well to show where my fence line is to secure the children in the area. So they would have an opportunity to play here on this site. I also know I'm in distance of the store if I ever needed to, for whatever cause, to actually have access to anything that I need at the corner store is right locally by. I really do have a vehicle to transport children, but it's not necessary because we are also in walking distance of Bond Hill Park and Bond Hill Library, which we use accessibly almost every week for both of those locations.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. And so I am not a daycare expert. My understanding is that one of the main distinctions between type A and type B is the number of children you can have in the home. Is that right?
Yes. And the opportunity to hire someone in to give employment. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And so how many do you currently have and how many will you have if the application is approved?
Right now I have 6 and I can get 6 more if the application is approved.
Okay. All right. And along with that, I think my assumption here with this restriction on the number of children is that there may be some concern about noise levels, and that sort of I think mostly noise, I'm guessing, particularly with the fence component already being satisfied and being a condition. So can you just talk about that? Do you think that this will cause disturbance to neighbors, sort of peaceful enjoyment of their properties? And if so, are you taking any measures to mitigate those impacts?
Okay, so no, I don't think it will, because I've already had an experience with children outside playing and I haven't received any complaints. And I only have the one side where I have someone that's very close to my property, because I am on a corner lot. And being on a corner lot, I have plenty of space between me and the other residents when it comes down to children playing outside. And I do keep them within the yard, so they're not in other people's property. And it also gives space for the parents that are able to park or drive. Because I'm on a corner lot, I have two streets that has plenty of space for parking as well.
Gotcha. Okay. And what are the general hours, or what will be the general hours?
7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
And are the children ever outside unattended?
No.
What is the general age range of the children?
At this time, right now, I believe I have the infants still listed. I don't have any infants at this moment, but from 6 weeks to 12 years old.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, I think that's all the questions I have right now. I was going to give the zoning plans examiner Wes an opportunity to weigh in or provide testimony if you'd like.
Okay.
Good morning. I don't have any new testimony or additional comments to the staff report conclusions. We concluded it would be appropriate and not have any adverse impacts. But I would like to just highlight that I had written in the report the hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I guess just make a note, David, that she's requesting hours beyond that. I think she said 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So just making sure the record clarifies that.
Gotcha. Okay. And Wes, I noticed in your report, it says that this is adjacent to an SF6 zoning district.
Yeah. Across the street to the north, across Ryland is SF6. The type A is also allowed in the type, or in this SF6. So it's not incompatible with that.
Gotcha. Okay. So if this were across the street, it would be permitted by right?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the zoning department's take on any potential adverse effects from increasing the amount of children?
I mean, I think the noise, parameter is something just to think about, and make sure there's not, too much of an impact there. And then the hours, maybe another element to consider. So, but we're supportive of the ideas, of the proposal. So.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. So Ms. Williams, anything else in closing or otherwise here before we adjourn on this?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second just to let me double check something very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I have had a chance to review the application materials, the staff report. I have to say that I've had some cases with playgrounds at certain points in residential districts, and so I know that excessive children noise, as probably sure you're aware, as a daycare provider can be a bit of a nuisance to surrounding neighbors. So I say that just as a caution, to be wary that could lead to some neighbor complaints and just drawn out other processes. So I just preface my approval, which I am going to approve this application with that. I think it's really important that, not only for safety, but just to manage some noise that, the children are always supervised and that outdoor time is appropriately managed and limited. So I'll put that out there. I don't think I'm going to make anything like an official condition of the approval. But that's really my only hold up here. So I think ultimately though, those concerns don't outweigh the rest of the application and your right to use your property in this way.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, I need to formally or make that decision formal by actually putting it in writing. That usually does take a couple weeks, just based on the current queue that I have here. As soon as I finish that, I put it into a PDF and I email it to you and to Wes. Once you have that, you can work with Wes on getting the actual permitting approved.
Okay.
If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to me directly, or you can, of course, continue to work with Wes if you have any questions about permitting. And if you'd like a status update on the decision, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'm happy to provide you with that update. If you haven't received it and you're wondering when it's coming.
Okay.
Any other questions right now about any of that?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck with the project. Thank you for your time, your testimony here today, and we are adjourned.
Thank you.